Over the years, many people have been told that high blood sugar is only a number on a lab report, something abstract that happens inside, invisible until a doctor mentions it. But your body doesn't wait for paperwork to speak up. It whispers early. It nudges. And if those signals are ignored, it raises its voice in ways you can feel, see, smell, and measure in the rhythm of your days. I'm Dr. Laura, here as your wellness guide. My goal is simple and direct, to translate the language of your body when blood sugar runs high so you can understand what's happening, why it matters for your energy, your circulation, your mind, and your intimate well-being, and what small practical steps bring you back to balance. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to give you a map, clear, calm, and usable, so that the next time your body talks, you know exactly what it's saying. Let's begin with the simplest and most common signal: thirst that doesn't make sense. When blood sugar rises beyond what your cells can handle, the body uses water to dilute and dispose of the excess. The kidneys filter more glucose, and water follows that sugar out of the body. You find yourself refilling your glass more often and still feeling dry. Your mouth feels cottony, your lips chap faster, and that bottle you used to finish by late afternoon is empty before lunch. This is your body telling you, I'm trying to keep the inner rivers clean, but I'm spending water to do it. If you're also waking up at night to urinate once, twice, sometimes 3 times, it's the same story, seen from another angle. It's not just about plumbing, it's about energy waste. Water that leaves too quickly drags minerals with it, and you'll sense it as a subtle, hollow tiredness, a fuzziness in thinking, a heart that wants steadiness but gets noise. Next signal, fatigue that has a schedule. Notice if your tiredness peaks 90 minutes after a carb-heavy meal. You eat, you feel a lift, and then your shoulders sink. Your eyes get heavier, and your brain looks for a quiet place to hide. That wave isn't a moral failing or a lack of discipline. It's a mismatch between sugar arriving in the blood and your cell's ability to absorb it smoothly. When insulin struggles to do its job because the cells have grown hard of hearing from years of easy sugar, low movement, and chronic stress, glucose lingers outside while cells still feel hungry inside. The brain, greedy for steady fuel, protests with fog. Your muscles, wanting to move, give you the signal to sit. The fix is not punishment or extreme rules. It's restoring the body's rhythm so the energy you eat becomes the energy you can use with no afternoon collapse. A third signal lives in your vision. Blurry sight that comes and goes during the day can be a hydration story, but it can also be a sugar story. Fluids shift, the lens swells slightly, and focus slips. Many people blame screens, age, or lighting, but if the blur varies with meals or long stretches of sitting, the body may be telling you, I need smoother blood sugar waves. When glucose floats too high, tiny vessels and delicate nerves, especially in places that demand precision like the eyes, are the first to complain. They don't need drama to suffer. They need constancy. That's why gentle patient habits work better than heroic spurts. Your skin speaks too. Dryness that doesn't yield to your usual lotion, itch that returns to the same patch, tiny infections that appear where you shave, where clothes rub, or in warm folds of skin, and scratches that heal slowly. All of these are signals that sugar is sticking where it doesn't belong, that microbes find a friendlier environment than they should, and that the immune system is distracted by a storm it didn't make. High blood sugar doesn't just float in the blood, it modifies proteins in a process called glycation, making tissues stiffer and more vulnerable. Skin becomes a weather forecast for the whole terrain. If the surface heals slowly, what do you think happens inside along tiny vessels feeding your nerves, your kidneys, your intimate tissues? Again, no fear, only clarity. Improve the terrain and healing quickens. Another voice is the mouth. Bleeding gums when you floss, a sweet or fruity breath at unusual times, a dry tongue no matter how much you sip. These are not random quirks. The mouth is an extension of the gut and a mirror of your metabolic tone. Inflamed gums are little flags saying circulation here is struggling and the microbiome is out of balance. When your sugar runs high, bacteria that thrive on it party late and your immune system spends energy keeping order instead of building you back up. You might think it's just my gums, but those gums have a freeway to the entire circulation. Support them and you support your heart, your brain, and your calm. Now listen to your nerves. Tingling or numbness in toes or fingers, a sense that socks are bunched when they're not, or that your foot meets the floor with less detail than before. These are early whispers of nerve fibers asking for kinder chemistry. Nerves are hungry for oxygen and easily insulted by the sugary stickiness that hardens tiny vessels. Before strong pain arrives, subtle sensation changes announce the terrain shift. Pair that with calves that cramp at night or feet that feel colder than they used to, and the message grows obvious. Circulation and nerve comfort want steadier fuel. Your mood and patience tell a story too. Irritability that seems to show up for no reason, a fragile calm that breaks hard after a pastry, an odd mix of hunger and emptiness an hour after eating. These are signals that your brain is riding a roller coaster it didn't ask to board. The brain loves flats and gentle curves. It resists peaks and troughs. When sugar races up, insulin chases. When sugar falls too fast, hunger shouts louder than your intentions. You're not weak. You're hearing your ancient wiring ring the fire bell. If you feed it spikes, it will crash. Give it slow fuel, protein, fiber, movement, and breath, and it will thank you with steadiness. There's also a quiet language in your circulation. If cuts on your shins take longer to close, if bruises spread wider than they used to, if climbing stairs feels more breathless despite the same pace, it may be your endothelial lining, the inner skin of your blood vessels, asking for help. High blood sugar reduces production of the very molecules that tell vessels to relax and glide. The result is a little more resistance, a little more pressure, a little less flow where it matters most. In the long run, that affects the confidence of your body in all ways, including your intimate health. People often separate metabolic health from intimate well-being as if they were different planets. They're neighbors. Smooth sugar waves make for kinder vessels. Kind vessels make for comfortable, confident moments of closeness. So, what is your body telling you with these signals? It's not shouting, "Punish me." It's whispering, "Organize me." High blood sugar usually means the orchestra is out of tune. Meals arrive as noisy bursts. Movement is saved for later. Stress breathes through the mouth. Sleep is cut short, and the day is paved with ultra-processed convenience. The good news is the body loves simple rhythms repeated. It forgives quickly when you give it a pattern it understands. Let's build that pattern with practical steps that start today. First, change how you break your daily fast, whether that's early morning or later. A simple plate, protein the size of your palm, fiber from colorful vegetables or berries, and healthy fat in a modest amount. Think eggs with spinach and tomatoes, Greek yogurt with chia and a handful of berries, or tofu scramble with peppers and avocado. Add a glass of water with a squeeze of lemon or a pinch of minerals if you've been waking at night to urinate. This breakfast doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be anchored, and anchored meals calm the rest of the day. Second, bring a small walk to your plate. 10 to 15 minutes of walking after your main meals is one of the most powerful, accessible tools for smoothing sugar curves. You don't need special shoes or a scenic path. You need a hallway, a block, a staircase, or a quiet loop around your living room. Movement turns your muscles into sponges that soak up glucose without asking insulin to shout, "Do it gently." Do it consistently and you'll feel your afternoons change. Third, invite fiber to every meal. Fiber is not a chalky powder you suffer through. It's the structure in real food that tells your body, let's take our time. Beans, lentils, chickpeas, leafy greens, crunchy vegetables, chia, flax, oats. Each of these feeds the friendly microbes in your gut that in turn lower inflammation and improve your insulin sensitivity. If legumes bloat you, start small. A few tablespoons, rinse thoroughly, and add ginger or cumin. Your gut learns. Fourth, Respect protein. Adequate protein stabilizes appetite, preserves lean tissue, and slows the march of glucose into your blood. Choose fish, poultry, eggs, tofu, tempeh, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or lean cuts of meat if they suit you. Many people with high blood sugar eat too little protein at the first meal and too much refined starch throughout the day. Flip that script. A palm of protein at breakfast and lunch will do more for your late-night cravings than a new brand of willpower. Fifth, hydrate with intelligence. High sugar drains minerals, so consider a simple hydration pattern. Water across the day, plus a pinch of minerals if you've been getting up at night. If you've been tempted to drink sweetened beverages to raise energy, try iced tea without sugar, sparkling water with lemon, or cinnamon tea, which brings warmth and a sense of fullness. The goal is to keep your inner rivers flowing without adding more sugar to their load. Sixth, teach your breath to set the pace. Stress speeds the body and makes muscle, liver, and fat tissue less willing to listen to insulin. A few times a day, close your mouth, inhale softly through the nose for 4 counts, and exhale for 6 to 8. Feel your belly drop on the exhale. This pattern doesn't just calm the mind, it changes the chemistry your cells swim in. A calmer nervous system means a friendlier metabolic conversation. Seventh, guard your sleep like your future depends on it, because it does. Only a few poor nights make cells more resistant to insulin. Choose a wind-down ritual that fits your life. Lights lower an hour before bed, screens out of the room, a warm shower, a few pages of a book, breath work, and a bedroom that is cool, dark, and quiet. If you wake to urinate, push most of your fluids to earlier in the day and consider finishing your last meal 2 to 3 hours before sleep. The body likes a quiet night. Eighth, make your plate look like the day you want to live, steady and colorful, not spiky and gray. If you love bread or rice, don't treat them as enemies. Treat them as components that earn their place. Smaller portions, whole versions when possible, paired with protein and fiber, and ideally after a bit of movement. Add vinegar to salads. Squeeze lemon over fish and greens. Sprinkle cinnamon on oats or yogurt. These are small culinary choices that make a measurable difference. Now, let's translate specific body signals into specific actions. If you're waking thirsty and sluggish, check your evening habits. Did your last meal lean heavy on starch? Did you snack late on sweets? Try a smaller, earlier evening meal with protein and vegetables. Finish eating 2 to 3 hours before bed and shift most of your fluids to the first half of the day. If nighttime urination persists, test a week with no alcohol and see what changes. Your kidneys will tell you. If your energy crashes after lunch, adjust the order of your meal. Start with a handful of salad or a cup of broth-based soup, then your protein and vegetables, and end with the starch portion. This sequence slows absorption, tones down insulin demand, and often erases the nap signal. Pair it with that 10-minute walk and you will feel the difference within days. If your skin is dry and slow to heal, make a habit of simple, consistent skincare. Gentle wash, pat dry, fragrance-free moisturizer, and breathable clothing that doesn't rub. If you shave, use a fresh blade and warm water. But remember, skin is a surface diplomat. The real negotiation happens inside, so double down on hydration, protein, and colorful plants. Add a small serving of berries daily if you tolerate them. Their pigments are quiet doctors. If your toes tingle or your feet feel quiet, put circulation back on the agenda. Calf raises at the sink while you brush your teeth, ankle circles when you're at your desk, and that reliable post-meal walk will do more than a drawer full of gadgets. Feet like attention. Check them daily, moisturize the heels, keep nails comfortable, and wear shoes that fit your real foot, not your memory of it from 10 years ago. If you find a sore, don't wait. Clean, protect, and give it relief from pressure, as early attention saves future plans. If your mood swings with your snacks, shift your snacks to mini meals that include protein and fiber. A small bowl of Greek yogurt with cinnamon, a piece of cheese with apple slices, a handful of nuts with a few berries, or hummus with cucumber. These choices bring a calm that a cookie can't, no matter how friendly it looks at 4 p.m. And drink water, as many cravings are thirst in costume. If your gums bleed easily, make your toothbrush and floss allies, not judges. Brush gently twice a day, floss once, and consider a tongue scraper to reduce bacterial load. Pair that with less added sugar, not zero, but less, and more crunchy vegetables. Your mouth is a garden, so feed it like one. Now, the long view. High blood sugar is not only a daily discomfort, it's a sculpture that shapes your vessels, your nerves, and your confidence over years. But you're not a statue, you're clay in motion. When you choose to move after meals, when you feed your gut with fiber, when you sleep like someone who respects tomorrow, when you hydrate without syrup, you're telling your body, I heard you. And the body, astonishingly loyal, responds. Blood sugar journeys downward from the peaks into a gentle valley where your cells can talk to insulin without shouting. The kidneys stop draining your rivers to protect you, the skin softens and heals, the brain clears, the nerves relax, and your intimate life benefits from better flow, better energy, and better self-trust. You might be asking, do I need perfection for this to work? Absolutely not. You need a pattern, not a prison. Choose 2 habits you can keep for 14 days. A 10-minute walk after your largest meal, and a protein-rich breakfast. Add a third if you feel momentum, like breathing through your nose with a longer exhale for 5 minutes in the evening. If you track numbers at home, watch how your fasting value and your after-meal value respond. If you don't track, watch your real life. Fewer nighttime bathroom trips, steadier afternoons, clearer vision, calmer skin, easier feet. These are not illusions, they are metrics with faces. Let me give you 3 short stories from the road. Daniel, 58, office worker, drank sweet tea to wake up after lunch and fell asleep on the bus home. He kept thinking he needed stronger tea, but instead he switched to water, added a palm of chicken and a double handful of greens to lunch, and walked the parking lot for 12 minutes before driving back. In a week, the bus naps ended. His body wasn't lazy, it was drowning in a wave he created by accident. Marisol, 62, loved bread at dinner and a show before sleep. She woke twice nightly to use the bathroom, and her lips cracked more each week. She moved her bread to lunch, finished dinner before 7, and made tea her evening ritual. Nighttime trips dropped to 1, then to none on several nights. Her lips healed. Her body wasn't broken, it was obeying instructions that weren't written with sleep in mind. And Javier, 65, felt pins and needles in his toes and blamed age. He added calf raises, a walk after dinner, and a daily bowl of lentil soup with vegetables at midday. Tingling softened. He bought shoes that fit the feet he has, not the feet he remembers. He learned to listen without catastrophizing. What your body is telling you when your blood sugar is high is not punish me. It's steady me, move me, feed me in forms I can use, and let me rest so I can repair. It's asking for circulation that glides, for nerves that hum quietly, for a brain that can focus without begging for a nap, and for an intimate life that feels supported, not sabotaged. The lever is not shame. The lever is rhythm. Carry this sentence into your next meal and your next walk. Small, repeatable shifts change the chemistry of your day. Place protein and fiber on your plate before the starch. Walk 10 minutes after you eat. Breathe longer out than in when stress spikes. Push your fluids earlier. Sleep like you mean it. And when you hear thirst that doesn't fit, fatigue with the schedule, blurry vision that comes and goes, itchy skin that returns, gums that protest, toes that forget, or moods that wobble, treat them as messages, not enemies. Answer kindly and consistently. If this talk gave you clarity, use it today. Pick one meal to anchor with protein and fiber. Take one short walk after eating. Take one calm breath with a longer exhale before you open your next message. Then note tonight how your body responded. Share this with someone who needs a gentle translation of their own signals. And if you want more guides like this, clear, practical, respectful, stay with me. I'm Dr. Laura, and your body's language is my favorite conversation.